ไม่รวยอ่ะถ้าไม่รวยแล้วแต่
Und it's white.
Thế gì về ăn đi. Hello.
Jalan yang itu. Information, booking tour, one way.
Okay.
Men det sikkert ikke.
Just 50. Assalamualaikum.
Hello. One more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shopping in my shop. One more. Shopping.
Vloggers. Direct pass.
Yeah,
From Turkey.
From Turkey.
From Turkey.
Oh, boleh Turkey.
No.
50 for packing.
I need.
Yeah, 50 for packing.
If right.
Balik lagi.
We want to.
Oye, hermano, muy pepina, ¿eh?
大部分乘以2再加2%，按照我妈的来说，先尝一半再看半。不拉着我觉得。
Just next door ya. Ellen, tiket for this sir? Tiket.
At the same spot, na? Same spot. Okay.
Yes, you know.
Varia moço. Que sabe da trilha, mas
लगा तो मुझे भी यही था।
Meleng ya marun jalan.
Bisa membayangkan tanpa duel.
Oh.
Ini lakunya sih.
Bisa dijual. Ini saya lihat.
Ini dua.
Ini berterus nama dagang.
Buka deh. Bulannya kan saya Bani merah kok.
Hare Krishna. Piu piu piu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Sentahi polis. C'est exactement pour ça que je veux t'épouser.
Hey there.
You have YouTube?
Yeah,
Is it YouTube?
yeah.
What's name? What's
What's
the
name?
name?
World Travel Walk.
Oh, you can write please in here.
Oh, okay.
Please. Is it live?
Yeah. Edge.
World Travel Walk. Oh,
Well,
that's nice name. World Travel Walk.
Yes,
That's
yes.
nice.
Okay, I'll go. Hare Krishna. Bye bye.
बस भाई अब टेंशन नहीं था भाई आगे आप किस तरह गए आप कह रहा हूँ ना पापा से बता रहा हूँ
Nggak bisa jalan gandengan gini.
Like, yeah, so I would just say like, oh, well, yeah.
여기서 가까워요? 네, 여기서 정말 1분이었어요.
I go with Mama, yeah, because it's especially you need to see it.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Sabahtan çıkış yapalım.
Without any card, not possible. 2 tickets. Yeah. But take picture me together. Not need picture. Maybe sometime you. Yeah, of course. We live off the karma. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Because in Bali, karma.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Sa pa Bulgi.